What's up, y'all? Come on in here. Listen, we're about to talk about the importance of co-parenting. If you don't know who I am P. Mathis, the accountant, and I talk about everything finance, financial literacy, and then, of course, on my free time, I volunteer to help parents get their rights to their children. So, tonight, I wanted to come here and talk a little bit about parenting, co parenting, and how important it is, and also for people to understand that co parenting is not only for people that are not married. People that are married should be co parenting as well. Let me get on here and start getting some people in here so y'all can know I'm live because I know I said 10:45, but I thought I had a meeting and it turned out that meeting is Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now so I can get it out of the way and then I can actually go to sleep because I am exhausted. But when work is needed to be done, we get the work done. Hey T, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Miller? If you can hear the sound of my voice, go ahead and like this video, share this video. Let's bring the people in here and we're going to start talking about this topic in just a minute. I know I'm early. You probably seen a notification that I'll come at 10:45, but I wanted to go ahead and come early since I didn't have the meeting and let's just get it out of the way, talk about it. If you have something to say, I'm going to put the invite link in the comments. Come on up. You do not have to come on camera. You can just come with your voice. If you want to just call in, let me know and I'll let you call in. But we will be taking the comments via either coming in up on the video or calling in, um, sending me your phone number and I will call you and you can call in. So I kind of want to talk more about co-parenting. And I guess for me, it's become a bigger subject for me since I've been working with so many parents, moms and dads, with getting their rights to their children. And a lot of the things that I'm seeing, to be quite honest, a lot of it is just childish and it's a lot of tit for tat. And I feel like we can bridge the gap if we talk about this more and talk about what co-parenting really is, because it's more so for the child versus you, the parent. It's really not about you, it's about that child. So we want to talk about that a little bit more because we know that when you get into relationships and they don't work out, there's always few. You're always having issues, you're fussing, you're fighting, you don't like each other. So anything that person may say is going to probably piss you off. Hey V, how you doing? So what I want to do first is I want to invite some people to tell their story. What are you going through if you are going through something or have went through something with a co-parent experience and you're willing to share? Put your hand up, let me know, and I will let you in. If you want me to call you in, I can call you in. Or if you want to come in using the link, come on in using the link. Because I personally think that this is an important conversation that needs to be had. And please, if you are married, this conversation is for you too. Do not exclude yourself as a married person because in a marriage, you should be co parenting as well. Co parenting, I know the definition is for people that are not married and you know how they word it, but it's really for everybody that has children. We all should be co parenting. We all should be doing our part because we all play a special role in our children's lives and it's not going to do anything but benefit them if we act accordingly and we act like the adults that we say we are. Okay, Miss Vanetta, I'm going to call you and give you a chance to tell your story because I know you do have a story and I definitely like to hear you guys perspective because it's a lot. It really is. And sometimes I ain't gonna lie, y'all know me, I'm a crybaby. Like I'm at heart, it's always about the kids for me. So I be crying sometimes because I be upset. But I still got to do what I got to do. I'm about to call you now. Let me get you in. I probably should have called you on the computer. That don't make sense. It's okay. All right, here she is. How you doing, Vanetta? Thank you for coming on today to tell your story and tell us about your situation. And then after I hear your story, I will give you some of my personal recommendations on what I think you guys should be doing to make the situation better for your children. So the floor is yours, Vanetta. And if you guys cannot hear her, let me know and we'll adjust it. And make sure you got me muted, Vanetta, on the other side.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So My situation is I have two kids, two baby daddies, and my oldest, which is my son, his dad don't he don't do nothing. He paid
Okay.
child support. That's it. If it wasn't for the child support, I would think he's dead. And the man stayed on the side, well, behind me, on the side, but behind me, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. He
Okay.
don't. I told him and his girlfriend, my child is a minor. He does not have to go over there if he do not feel comfortable. I'm not going to force my child who's old enough to think for himself, who has really his gift is discernment. He knows when something's not right. He went over there, he
Hmm.
came home crying. He said he don't feel comfortable. I told his father, I said he don't feel comfortable, but whenever you do want to spend time with him, you're more than welcome to come knock on the door and ask to spend time with your son. I'm not gonna stop you. He
Hmm.
I can count on one hand how many times, and that's twice. He came, and that's to bring my son some food that he's allergic to and some Wendy's. And instead of him asking, questions, is he allergic to this or he allergic to that, food he's allergic to and some Wendy's. And at the time, we wasn't eating fast food. We was trying to change our lifestyle.
Hmm.
And he brought the food. I said, you should have asked. He can't eat that right now.
Okay.
That's that. His,
So a
uh-huh.
question. Take me back so I can get caught up to where you guys are now. Um, what happened in the relationship? So you guys were dating. You had.
We was dating for a minute. We was dating for 4 years. The first
Hmm.
time I got pregnant from him, I miscarried. The second time, which was my son, we dated until I was 6 months. He gave me an STD,
Hmm.
and I was 6 months pregnant with my son. And I said, I can't be in a relationship. He pulled me, he dragged me out his car, he hit me. I stabbed him
Oh my.
because I wasn't fit to let nobody put their hands on me. I'm from
Right.
Miami. So you're not gonna put your hands on me just because you know you did wrong.
Hmm.
I'm pregnant. I'm not gonna be sleeping with all these different type of men while I'm pregnant.
Right.
So I know I got it from you. So we got in an argument. My godmother told him he had to leave. He couldn't stay in front of her yard with all that foolishness he had going on.
Right.
So we started talking for a
Okay.
minute,
So
and
you
I
guys
ain't
stopped
talking.
talking. So let's stop there. So you guys stopped talking. You were 6 months pregnant, and because of the domestic violence issue, you guys stopped talking. Was that the first time
Mm-hmm.
he was physical with you, and you was
No,
physical with him? No. Okay. So he
no.
has he has a history of putting his hands on women.
I had to call the police and get him out of my house. Yeah,
Okay. So
because I
after
think
that,
that was the last straw for me. You gave me an STD and you put your hands on me. So that was the straw for me. Like,
okay,
nah, I'm not gonna stay in this toxic
right,
relationship.
in the toxic
So I
relationship.
yeah,
So
oh, it was toxic.
So
And I
after
was
that, did you guys later talk about your parenthood responsibilities now that you guys had this child coming? How did that go? Like what was that conversation after you guys decided, okay,
it wasn't even him. It was his mom and his
okay,
dad. It was his parents. They was like, oh, we can get the baby on the weekend.
okay,
And his mom was like, oh, if that's his baby, then you should name him after him. I was like, I don't want to name him that. I want to name my son what I want to name him. So she was making a big deal about my son not being a name. So I just told him, I said, whatever you want to name him, you can name him. So he named him after him.
okay,
And then when my son came, I was like, you can get him on the weekends or every other weekend, whatever is more convenient for you.
mm-hmm,
And it took me. I think my son was about a years old, 1 years old when I put him on child support.
okay.
Yeah,
So was it because you did the child support because you guys wasn't able to figure out a co-parenting plan by yourself, so y'all had to get the courts
um,
involved, or
I
what was
mean,
happening with the on the
for me,
weekends?
I give you chance after chance. And after you tell me, and when I know you got it, because I knew his paydays,
Mm-hmm.
because his direct deposit was still coming in my account, and I never
Hey.
touched his money. I'll just go withdraw whatever they deposited into my account, and I'll call him and let him know to come get it because I already took
Okay.
the money out. So
Right.
I asked him, because I had just got paid, and I went to Macy's. Macy's had a sale, and this happened with my daughter too. And I asked him to do something. He said no.
Okay.
So I said, okay. Then I asked him to do something else. No, no, no. I asked him to put my son on his health insurance. That's what made me put him on child support because my
Okay.
son needed health insurance, and he didn't want to add him on his health insurance. That's why he got put on child support.
Okay. So he's on child support, not pretty much being consistent with visitations, right?
Right.
So did he himself just say, you know what, I don't want to see my son, or was it more of you guys couldn't get on one page?
I didn't hear you was breaking up.
I say, was it him himself that just decided, okay, he's just gonna walk away from the situation, or was it more of both of you guys just couldn't get on the same page?
It was more so he couldn't. It's like he didn't want. Okay, so my son dad is really selfish.
Okay.
So
We got a lot of them.
huh?
I said we got a lot of them.
He's real selfish, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that because he basically said, no, I'm not doing that because they're gonna take more money out my check. So
Okay.
you rather for them to take. I was like, that don't make sense. All I'm asking is for you to put him on your health insurance, and they just gonna charge you an extra $20, $30 every time you get paid, versus you being put on child support, and they taking out twice as much in child support than they
Okay.
would if you just add him on your health insurance. Oh, I'm not doing it. Well, just put
Right.
me on child support. Just put me on child
So
support.
when the child was put on child support, how old was he? Was he? You say he was one? You say
Just one.
he was one. So when you went for child support, did you also ask for shared custody and visitation rights? You know, for both of you, so that he can
Um,
be involved, being that the child was so young.
we didn't go to court because he signed a birth certificate, so we didn't have to go to court. And since he already acknowledged paternity, he didn't have to go to court. But like I had told his parents, I said, whenever y'all want to get CJ, y'all can get him. Whenever Chris want to get him, I'm never gonna stop him from seeing his son. To this day, I don't stop him from
Okay.
seeing his son.
Okay. So my recommendation on that, what I would have done as your support system, because you know you're young, you're having babies. The baby was one, and y'all were having y'all differences, and that it happens, and we all know sometimes we can be hot headed. I think at that moment, with asking for the child support, and I see this a lot of times, we either parent, they'll go and ask for child support, but you don't also ask for visitation. Where at this point you make them decide whether or not they want to get that child. Because if we're going to ask for child support, we want to also force you, not pretty much force you, but let you know you're going to pay the child support, but you're going to also be in this child life physically, you know, emotionally as well. And let's create that plan as well on top of the child support, because child support, you know, support is way more than just money. And that absent parent has a big effect on that child. So I feel like you guys were young and your support system wasn't really guiding you right, because you guys should have had a visitation share, time sharing, that's what they call it, time sharing plan in place in addition to the child support. A lot of times we always hear about just your child support, but we want to also think about that time sharing, and just think about the times that you had with your parents. That was good to you, that you miss your dad, you love your dad, he was there. Just think about, maybe, just if maybe we would have sat down and said, you know what, let's figure this out as adults. We ain't seeing eye to eye, but we are both parents. Let's get a plan that's going to work, where you're going to be you're going to stand up to your responsibility, as well as I'm going to stand up my responsibility. Not you just need to stand up to your financial responsibilities, because they're responsible for more than just the finances of their child. They actually need to be active, and especially in a young boy's life. Like, he needs his daddy regardless of what we're going through with them. They need their daddies just as much as the young girls, but the boys need them, you know, I'm just saying a lot more, because they need to see that father figure. They need to see, you know, someone that looks like them, and you know, help them become that man that they're going to be. So that's just a bit of advice for you on that situation. I feel like y'all missed the ball a little bit. So the blame is not only on just one person. It's always, for me, it's going to be on both people, unless it's like some crazy situation. But yeah, you guys kind of like dropped the ball, because y'all could have made it a little bit better if you guys would have just stopped and thought about it for a moment. So you want to tell your next story about your daughter? I think that's what you mentioned in the comment. You said something
Yeah.
about.
So with my daughter's dad, I was dating him before I was dating my and we dated for a while.
Okay.
Well, we was best friends, like good friends for a minute.
Okay.
And then he moved away and he told me he was getting married, da da da. So he lied. My baby daddy that man is smart. So he
She said that man's
created a
smart.
fake divorce letter, told me that he got divorced, the divorce was final. He moved me to Texas. But okay, so 6 weeks after I had my son, I was on birth control. We had sex. I didn't know I was pregnant until I want to say I was like 2 or 3 months pregnant with my daughter.
Okay.
And I called him and told him that I was pregnant. So he moved me to Texas with him. His ex-wife came and was trying to fight me. And I was like, if you put your hands on me, you're going to jail because I'm pregnant.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, da da da. He didn't tell you we were still married. And so me and him got into it. And I was like, you lied to me. You told me he was divorced and da 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 da. So I moved back to Tallahassee. Now him and we was doing great after I had my daughter because he came. I was going through postpartum because, of course, my kids are 11 months apart. I was going through so much when I had my daughter. So he came back from overseas. He was helping me raise her. He had her for a good little minute until I dealt with my issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a while. We went to court. The situation happened with him was Macy's had a sale, and I asked him to buy her some clothes because at the time my daughter was 3,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me no, he don't have the money. Then he left to go out of town to go visit some female. So his mom called me and asked me, did I know? And I said, no.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, he know the bills is due, da da da, or whatever. So that pissed off his mom. On top of him not doing nothing because my daughter is his mom's was, let me say was because she passed away, was his mom's world. Like that was her
Okay.
heart.
So let's talk about how did you guys get to the point where co-parenting ended?
So we went to court. The court we basically agreed that he was going to get her 6 months on, 6 months off. Me and him, we got into a lot of stuff. We got into a fight, and he was driving, and I was on the back of his car, and I fell off the back of his car.
Y'all just reckless.
Huh?
Y'all just reckless, huh?
Girl. But it's my relationship with my daughter dad wasn't as toxic as my son's dad. But so we went to court. They told me I had to put a restraining order against him, and I had to put him on child support. And so that's what made me put him on child support. But when we went to court, it was like they agreed for him to get 6 months, for me to get 6 months. That was the co-parenting, and I had moved to Miami because I had to spend more time with my family. I wanted to spend more time with my family, and I had found out that my sister has an autoimmune disease, so I wanted to be closer to her and my nephews just in case she needed me. So I went to Miami. He had her for I want to say 2 months. He kept calling me, complaining, saying that he late to work every day. He gonna lose his job, and then he said, "Oh, I lost my job. I can't work because I have Ebony. This is stressful. She's. I always gotta get her from school." I'm like, "What's how you think I deal with it?" I said, "You have to find a babysitter, find somebody to watch her, find somebody to get her off the school bus, find somebody to take her to the school bus, make a plan, make it work, just like I do. I can't." I said, "I can't sit there and get her. This is you have to get her for 6 months."
Right.
But then
And
Laura called me, huh?
I hear what you're saying, and I cancel a lot of people on these issues. And my biggest thing is I'm not a fan of the two cities, two state type of thing because you really need to be there a little bit more than that. So y'all just had a lot going on because that is going to be difficult because now that goes from co-parenting to single parenting because now your child is with one person for 6 months and then the other person with the other 6 months. What about those other 6 months, that they're missing with that other parent? And that can be detrimental too. So
He was living with his girlfriend.
she ain't the mama? Girlfriend ain't
Like,
mama.
she ain't.
Girlfriend
Like,
ain't
mom,
mama.
she wanted to play stepmom,
She can
and her
play
kids went to
stepmama, but
school with
she
my daughter.
still
So my
ain't
whole
mama.
thing is, if you want to be stepmom and you want to live with this girl, she's going to school with her kids. Why is it a big issue?
It shouldn't be,
Because
but she ain't
I'm
mama.
in Miami, and if whenever I need my kids to be picked up, if I have to go to work, I have my family in Miami.
I get
So
that.
he has his family in Quincy. So at the end of the day, his daddy, his mom was still alive. They all could have went and got her.
But you can't say that that's what they could have done, because at the end of the day, that child got a mom and a daddy. That's not their responsibility. We know it takes a village, but at the
But it's
end of the day,
everybody want to say how much they love my daughter,
you right.
how much my daughter means to them.
You right, but at
When
the
you
end
see
of the
somebody
day,
struggling, you're supposed to help them.
at the
That's
end of the
one thing I
day,
can say. Two things for certain. One thing for sure. When I needed help, my daddy was right there. When I needed help, my uncle was
that's
right
true.
there. My sisters was right there. My brother was
But
right
that's
there.
not
My
always
aunts and
the
uncles was
case.
right there.
That's not
I've
always the
never had a
case.
problem in Miami with nobody keeping my kids.
You never had a problem, but that's not always the case for both parents. So it's never
That's the
about what
problem.
somebody
Every time
else
he
can
talked to
do.
his mom about it, his mom said he never called her,
He
and then his
probably
mom passed
didn't.
away. Okay, I understand because your mom passed away. Now you living in the house with your dad. Your dad
Okay.
said he never told me to come get. And then his cousins that wasn't working throughout the day, they worked overnight. They was like, well, he never told us that he needed somebody to get. You see, it was excuses for him. That was an excuse for him not to be a father, not to do what he's supposed to do. Because right
We
now, if he died today, guess what? It's gonna still be on me. If he got it right
That's
now, it's
true.
it's
That's
gonna be
true.
all on me.
Okay, that's true. So let's talk about this one. So that's true. You're right. He
So
may have
it's no
had
different whether
options.
I stayed in
He
Miami or not. I never left the state. The court told me I
you
couldn't leave Florida.
you
That's
right.
what he
But
told me.
okay,
So
let
I
me
had to go
talk.
to Miami because my family needed
Let me
me.
talk. Let me
I'm
talk.
not
Let me talk.
okay.
So I get what you're saying. I do. I do get what you're saying. But remember, we're focused on the child. Yes, you wanted to go to Miami. You didn't need to go to Miami. You wanted to go to Miami. And you have this child, and you have
Needed
this
to go to
father.
Miami.
Well, you feel like you needed it, but I'm gonna tell you that you didn't need to go. Okay, so
I needed to.
you wanted to go and you went, and that's okay. That's the decision you made. But you also made the decision to separate yourself not only from your child but the co-parenting situation, because you're not co-parenting in two different cities. That's super hard, and it's also hard on the child, because you're still kind of like an absent parent for 6 months, and then you're coming back. So you guys could have did a lot more with that too. And I always tell people, yes, we understand it takes a village to raise a child, but a village didn't have that child. So when it boils down to the end, it boils down to those two parents. Okay, so you may have had the support that you had, but he may have not. Even regardless of what people say, that's hearsay. They may say, "Oh, he never called me," but you never know what been going on with him personally, why he didn't call them. So you gotta look at the bigger picture, not just say, "Oh, he was just making excuses." You guys
I
never.
know my son, my
No, you
daughter's
can't
dad.
say you
It was
know.
excuses.
You
He
can't
do it
just say
all
you
the
know
time,
him.
and we still living in the same city. It's excuses for
You
him.
you
He
no no no
so
no y'all. I
thing.
feel like y'all just didn't communicate well, and then
Nah,
that's
that was
when and y'all
excuses
allowed
for.
the
I
excuses
know why you
to
saying it's
come.
precious now. We ain't even for because at the end of the day, I know my baby daddy, and I know the bull crap he put me through. That's just
I agree.
because
I
we
agree.
still in the same. He stays 30 minutes away in Quincy. I'm not moving to Quincy. He's not gonna move to Tallahassee because he ain't gonna want to pay no bills on his own. It's excuses because he passed by my house every single
Okay.
day to go to work.
Okay. So
On
answer.
Fridays, you can stop by my house and get your child,
Okay.
and
So
you can drop her off at school
answer
on
this
Monday, and she can
question.
come home.
Answer this question. Who picked the baby father?
Not me because I was on birth control.
Oh, no. You picked them. Birth control don't always work. You picked them.
And
Y'all,
he used the condom. I didn't
y'all,
want no more.
y'all laid down and did what you did, because we know it happens. And condoms ain't 100% either. It happened. You chose him. So you had to put on your big girl panties and work through that situation, even in the most uncomfortable situations, because that's an uncomfortable situation. But there was some loopholes that could have been closed and it could have been a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. I'm not negating anything that you're saying or how you're feeling. I'm just saying that there was some things that could have been done better. You see what I'm saying?
What could have been done better, Precious?
Communication. No.
Whatever.
Plan when you planning when you planning to have your baby.
My sister is dying, and I told him I had to go out of town, and he cursed me out like a dog. Nah, it's
deeper than that.
He's a liar and he's very manipulative.
I thank you. I feel you. Thank you for sharing. I feel where you're coming from, but always look. All I want to tell you is always look at the bigger picture. And
I did. Precious, if you could just walk in my shoes, I tried very hard to communicate with both of them. Let them know, hey, your child is here. You're more than welcome to come knock on my door anytime to come get your children. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm not going to tell you no. The only reason why he couldn't get his child for 2 years because the court made me put a restraining order because of the things that was sent to me in my inbox from him. That's the only reason why he couldn't see his daughter.
I understand, but like I said, y'all was reckless. Both of y'all was reckless. All right, so I ain't gonna place blame on you. I ain't gonna place blame on him. It's both of y'all. Both of y'all was reckless. And what I'm saying is, y'all could have did some things better as parents, as two adults. Both of you, you and him, not just him. Both of you guys could have did some things better.
He can come get his daughter right now
to make the situation better. I'm not gonna go through that. I'm not gonna go through that. I'm not gonna play with you on this live today. I'm moving on to the next person. Anybody else want to chime in? Anybody else want to chime in on this conversation and the importance of co-parenting? Now, let me tell y'all. Now, I'm not trying to disregard anything Vanetta is saying, okay? But I want us to start looking at the total picture and start looking at the little loopholes where we could have closed, where we could have made something better instead of pointing the finger. So we don't want to be in a situation where we're having kids with people and then we're always pointing, oh, you ain't doing this or you ain't doing this, you got to look at the total person. So also, y'all probably seen when I post about not try your best, and it can be done. We've convinced a lot of couples that had babies and wasn't ready and it didn't work to stay into the same city because it just works. That's just a sacrifice that you have to make because you decided to have a baby with this person. You got to always remember the children do not choose their parents. We do this. This is on us. So we got to make sure we start having those hard conversations. Okay. Hard conversation. And this is even before you decide to even have a baby with somebody. Know what their expectations is as a parent. Tyler, Andy, we don't want to hear nothing about no Bitcoin. You need to find somewhere to go because this is the wrong platform for you, for you, baby. So please go somewhere else with that. But yeah, so we want to make sure we just I think the biggest issue from what I'm seeing through this experience is communication. And a lot of people are having babies with people they don't know. And it happens more than often. But at the end of the day, we have to put our big girl panties on, our big boy panties on and say, look, this is the decision I made. This is what I decided to do. Now I have to do what's best for this child. Because, hey, Ty, because people think child support is the only thing, like, is money, like paying child support. That's not what it should be. I personally, this is me, and this is something that I'm trying to work on. If a woman or a man, because a lot of people don't even understand that men can get child support from women too. Okay, so men go through it a lot, but women go through it too with their children being taken away from them and given to the father and then being on child support. So this goes both ways. Child support should not own, if you apply for child support, it should be mandatory that you also apply for time sharing. It shouldn't just be, oh, you can put somebody on child support, but there's not a time sharing plan in place. It shouldn't go like that. The system is so jacked up, and we're allowing it to be this way because, to be honest, the system is really in favor of a woman. Okay, we don't have to go to court and claim rights to our child. Okay, when a man signs a birth certificate, that does not give him rights to his child, his rights to parent. He actually have to go and petition the court. to actually get that right to parent his child. So we as women, if we really care and we really love our children, we will set better plans for when we're having these babies. When we have these babies, we should already be convincing these men, listen, we about to have this baby. You need to go ahead and get your timeshare because this is important for our child. And if it doesn't work out, you don't have those issues because everybody already know what they supposed to be doing. And even with married people, you don't need timeshare agreements, but you should have some type of agreement on how this thing will work for you guys while you're raising your child together. Because there are some things that the mom should be doing, and there's some things that the dad should be doing. There's some things that mom can do that dad can't do. There's some things that dad can do that mom can't do. So we have to communicate. Okay, we have to start communicating. We have to stop talking bad about the other parent in front of these kids. We have to stop making kids turn on their parents because we're so upset. It's just not right. We are hurting our, listen, this is all across the board, but I'm gonna get a little personal. We are hurting the Black community. We really are. And we have to do better. In Georgia, you have to have a parenting plan before they can even grant separation. Right. That is if you're married. So that I know what you're talking about, Ty. So if you're a married person, you have to have that. But when you're not married, it's not a requirement. The guy actually have to go down there and request that. So if I can challenge the mothers to teach your sons how to have their rights to their children and the things that they should be doing. One key thing, and this may sound harsh, if your son is not married to a young girl that he's about to have a baby with, regardless of how good the relationship is. Okay, marriages are good and they fail too. So the relationship can be good throughout the pregnancy and all of that. But what if, see, we got to always think about that. What if it does not work? Okay, so your son should not be signing that birth certificate at the hospital. Okay, unless they are willing to go ahead and do the DNA test so that he can start applying for his time sharing. You know, you can ask any lawyer. They're going to tell you, do not have your son sign that birth certificate until we make sure he gets his rights. And the process will be for him to go down to the court. And then when he go down to the court to petition the court, they will do a blood test on the child, confirm that the child is his, put him on the birth certificate, and then he can actually request for time sharing 50-50 custody. It should not be a battle to have 50-50 custody. It should be something that you want. You should want both of your both parents to be in the child's life. We get so caught up on this system and allowing them to ruin our kids' lives. Okay, just like the guy said on the freaking TV, the millennial people don't value the old age family value system. That's not true. I don't think that's true. I think most of us that get into relationships and have children, we want to have both the parents in that child's life. I think we do. But what happens is we get with people that we're not compatible with. We have babies, and then it just hit the fan. But we made that conscious decision to make it go that way. So now you have to deal with the consequences. And the consequences is always making the best decision for your child. Remember, I'm going to say this again. Ladies and gentlemen, these children do not choose their parents. We did that. So no matter how bad it is, as long as nobody ain't whooping your behind or whatever it is, if y'all cussing each other out, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to say that for when y'all child is not around, and y'all need to be able to come to reasonable agreements. Okay. I saw where a woman wanted to not allow the man to see the child at all, just pay child support because she wanted her boyfriend to adopt the child. Okay. So it's a lot of stuff going on out here, especially in our community. And you did not, and they don't really, they're not taking the best interest of the kid. Okay. There's no way in heck. I seen a case where a child was granted, they got 50-50 custody. Parents live in 2 different states. So now a child is flying back and forth to these parents because this is what the court said that they had to do. As parents, that's when you have to step in. and you have to make the right decision for your child. Somebody has to move, period. It's only right, because you have to co-parent, and that's a consequence that come with you deciding to have this child and the relationship didn't work. It's no guarantee that these relationships are going to work. It's no guarantee. So we have to start actually having these conversations with our mate. A lot of people are here, oh, I got pregnant on the first night. We got to do better. Wrap it up. Stop having babies with people that you don't know, because co-parenting will become difficult, but it will be something that you must do for your child's well-being. I'm serious, y'all. I ain't coming here to bash anybody. I just want y'all to understand what's really happening. They're not going to talk about this on the news and all this, but we are so divided, and it's affecting our children. And when it's affecting our children, it's affecting us too, and our future as well as their future. So we got to get better. We got to get better. I ain't asking you to be lovey-dovey with no ex. I ain't. You don't like them, you don't like them. You ain't got to like them. It ain't about them. But y'all need to be able to come to the table and make reasonable decisions for this child. It is not just the mom's decision about where that child goes to school. You didn't make that baby by yourself. That's so unfair. It is not just your decision where your child can go out of town with somebody. That's not fair. You decided to have this baby with this person, so you need to co-parent. And I promise you guys, if y'all take this and sit back and listen, your child will thank you in the long run. It's so many of us out here that don't know our daddies. Or we met our fathers when we were older, and we finally found out the part of the real story, because it's always going to be mama's side and daddy's side and then the truth. And you ask yourself, well, why y'all just couldn't get it right so that we can be involved with both of our parents? Other people do it all the time. People do it all the time. But it becomes selfish when you decide that you're going to think about yourself over your child's well-being. And having two parents is a part of your child's well-being. You can't make babies by yourself unless you're going down there to the sperm donor, and you still can't make it by yourself, because you still need that sperm to make it happen. Now, who knows what's going to happen, years ago, because all this technology stuff, they might be popping babies out the microwave. I don't know. You might be able to get your microwave baby. But right now, that's not what's happening. Okay? So if it does not work, that's okay. But now you have to be an adult and make responsible decisions for your child. None of that arguing in front of them and this and that, or getting a child by themselves and talking bad about this parent. That's not what adults do. That's what kids do. And a lot of y'all are out here acting like kids. And please understand this, parents. Please understand this. Your child is paying attention to what you're doing. That is a little human being. That child will grow up, and that child will remember the things that you did and may not like you in their older age. Don't do it. And see, I don't even like co-parenting, because I think it's just parenting. Okay? Like Live Life for a Purpose said, TV. It's just parenting. Everybody have their role. Okay? Everybody have their role. See, but y'all got to always understand this. Y'all ain't gonna like this, ladies. The man is already standing behind the 8 ball, because he got to go ask for rights to that baby. How will we feel if men stopped signing birth certificates and they actually knew their rights, and they started going down to the courts and making it the right way? See, because it's more than likely going to have to be them, because we as women can be mean. We get all the power. We get all the power. All the power. So we have the powers, ladies. We got the power to make this thing work. Okay? You you got a baby with him, you know how to talk to him, make him feel better and not trigger him. And we know how to trigger him. You don't gotta trick him no more. He ain't yours. You don't want him like that. You just need to take care of your child. Show up. Be there. I ain't gotta like you, but you need to be here, present. Is deeper than child support. Deeper than child support. It's not just about the money. Child support is everything. Your presence, seeing you, knowing that other side of the family, knowing where they come from. Too many of us walking around here don't know who our daddy is. Or you only got mama's side of the story. Then you meet daddy when you're older and you realize, oh, this is deeper than what I was told. We gotta stop doing it, y'all. We gotta stop doing it. I'm encouraging you guys. Work on parenting. I know they say co-parenting, but it's freaking parenting. Because as a mother, you should be parenting, and as a father, you should parent. Period. There's no co. We parenting up in this thing. We taking care of these kids up in this thing. And I ain't got to like you. And I don't want you, so I don't care about who else you with, but you need to take care of this kid. Get your paperwork in order. Yeah, and if you ask me, most of y'all women, well, all women, I feel, should have policies on their baby daddies. Period. It's your right. You got a kid. Something happened to them, you need to make sure everything good. You should have policies on them. But that's neither here that we ain't talking about that. We talking about co-parenting, working together, communicating, not fighting all the time, not triggering each other. Because we do. That's good, Ty. I'm glad you do. That's good because your baby's going to thank you later for it, for allowing that space, allowing it to happen. Y'all ain't gotta like each other. I don't. Just respect one another. Okay? That's all you gotta do. Because you made that choice to have that child with that man or that woman. Y'all stop it. We should not have as many court cases I'm seeing. We shouldn't. It's so sad to make you want to cry. And I ain't all about me. I have a good family, a good husband, take care of his kid. You know, we work together and we ain't perfect. We have our days, but we understand the bigger picture. And every one of us need to start understanding the bigger picture. I'm not the beneficiary. My kids are. That's right. That's who need to be, your kids. You should be, as the mother, be able to, and as the father, be able to say, yeah, get a policy on me and make my kids the beneficiary. Just in case. Yeah, we're living through generational curses. We got mamas telling sons not to take care of their kids. We the problem, women. It's terrible. Remember what I said. The man have to go to the court to just ask for a right to a baby that y'all want him to take care of. The system is made for us. They protecting us. Until the mama or the father educate their son on how this family dynamic thing will work for them. See, I'm going to educate my son. I'm going to let him know, baby. I know you love him, but we can't sign that birth certificate. We got to go through the courts because y'all not married. You're not married. Because if you're married, she can't just take that baby. You're going to go to parental classes, counseling, and then they're going to get you a time-sharing plan. But when you're not married, you don't have that luxury. And now you sign a birth certificate and you're fighting for rights that you should have gotten before you signed the birth certificate. See, because mama got the rights automatically. So if you a man and you listening to me and you have children, or you plan on having children, understand how this system works. Everything have a process, even having a baby. Okay? Understand the system. You shall not be signing birth certificates without establishing your parental rights. Don't do it. And if she's not willing to get a blood test, then you might got another problem. Because I see it time and time again, parental court, where men take care of babies for 18 years and find out that those babies are not theirs. So this is also to protect you, because women cheat too. Okay? So we think it's only the men, but it's us women too. And what they need to know is they don't have to have a support order for visitation rights. Right. You do not have to have a child support order for visitation rights. You don't. You just want your rights. You want to go, and my recommendation to my young men is always, before you do any of that, you go to that court. And if you're in a good relationship, you can do it while the woman is pregnant and ask for your rights. And you want 50-50 custody. All this sole parent, ain't no sole parent. You got two parents. But we let the system mind F us and we roll with it. It's not what you should be doing. You're not the sole parent. You ain't sole make it by yourself. If you want to be the sole parent, then why are you asking for child support? Make it make sense. You won't have support, or you really won't support. It's abuse. It's alienation. Stop abusing our kids. I know it's a lot of us out there that live with single parents that don't feel good. You would have been quite all right with time sharing if they could have acted like they had some sense. So how about we start doing better? Let's not repeat the cycle because mama and daddy them did it. So that's what it's supposed to be. No, we need our men just as much as they need us, regardless of how y'all want us, how y'all want to think we don't. But we do. And if we don't get it together, we're going to have a problem. Okay? Anybody else got something to say? That's my spiel, y'all. I love y'all. All I want y'all to know is I just want us to come together. Let's normalize parenting together. I'm not saying be together. Parenting together. Okay? Let's make this thing work. Any questions, any more comments before we get out of here? Don't forget to like this video, share this video. We're going to keep talking about this, but I just had to come talk about this because it's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. And we have to do better. And we also have to state the facts. The men are starting behind the 8-ball, and we want so much more from them. But the system already X'd them out before they even can be parents, if they unmarried. The system was not built for them. Single men having babies with women that they're not married to was not in their favor. It is in the woman's favor. So we got to start talking about that more. Any questions before we get out of here? Thank y'all for coming. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Vanetta. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Key. Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Miss Joy. And everybody else that I can't see. Oh, Ashley, I see you. Miss Piner, I see you. Dee, Tracy, thank you all for attending this important conversation. And we're going to keep talking about it. I know some people don't like to talk about this. This is a tough situation. This is a tough conversation. It's tough for me to talk because sometimes I'd be like, okay, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't want to offend somebody. I don't want them to feel like I'm coming at them. But y'all, we have to talk about this. We have to talk. We got to have these tough conversations because if we don't, we're going to be in some trouble. And we got to save our babies. We got to save our culture. Baby, do it for the culture. We do everything else for the culture. So do it for the culture, and let's normalize parenting together, even when it don't work. All right? Peace out, y'all. I'll see y'all possibly tomorrow, depending on what my schedule is like. But I'll see y'all later. We're going to keep talking about this. Peace out.